Hello and welcome to this, our third episode of bite-sized videos on how to think like Einstein. So far we've heard about how Einstein was wildly creative and the power of stopping and letting our subconscious help with that creativity. Today we're going to talk about something a little different, how Einstein took all that creativity and brought it back down to earth to something more tangible. And this is about the power of diverse thought, whether it's ourselves or working with others. Einstein's great strength, as we described, was thinking in these wild thought experiments really creatively, riding bikes on beams of light and so forth. And while that sounds really captivating and allowed him to do really different, unique, original thinking, it doesn't really make for a scientific theory. Scientific theories need to be provable, demonstrable, measurable. They look a lot more like this slide that you see than a concept of riding a bike on a beam of light. And it's ironic for someone who was so fantastically imaginative as Einstein that he's most famous now for something a lot more dry and practical, the equation E equals mc squared. And it's fair to say that this practical, demonstrable way of thinking was not at all Einstein's strength. He much preferred his thought experiments and his creativity. And indeed, to get to the point where he needed his theory to become a real scientific theory, he enlisted the help of a colleague, Marcel Grossman. Grossman was much more expert at the pragmatic, formulaic, scientific way of setting out ideas compared to Einstein. And Einstein recognized that this is what he really needed. So between Einstein's creativity and Grossman's practicality, they got to the perfect combination. The creativity and insight from Einstein's brain boiled down into practical scientific language that could be measured, demonstrated, and tested. And this really is a lesson for all of us here. Creativity is really valuable. Using the strengths of our mind is really valuable, but diversity of thought is even more so. And whether that means pairing with other people whose minds work in different ways and can give us that fresh perspective, or challenging ourselves to think about a problem or an idea differently to how we naturally would, thinking of the different possibilities, what other people might think who don't perhaps have the same way of thinking as us, all of this natural or enforced diversity of thinking means that our ideas and our solutions and our thinking becomes more rounded, and bulletproof to the objections and different perspectives of other people. We've considered every angle, so we know our ideas are robust. Inviting this criticism and this critique in can sometimes be intimidating and even off-putting, but this is where our best thinking comes from, the combination of lots of different perspectives brought together for the advantage of one idea. So, today's lesson, seek that diversity, seek that critical voice, seek that different perspective. It will only help to make your thinking even more strong and bulletproof. Thanks, and we'll see you on the next video.